lot of people are using sources outside of themselves, drugs and alcohol and porn or whatever their thing is. But when when you're the source, you create that on your own and you release these chemicals. It used to be all physical for me, but now it's more mental and emotional. I just want to be happy. It's about joy, happiness, and laughter.
Yeah.
That's my wife and I. Joy, happiness, and laughter.
Love
what do we got
that.
to do? Happiness, it's in the Constitution, the pursuit of.
Come on.
Come on.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
It's un-American to not be happy.
Hello.
Don't half-ass it. Just show up for yourself, because we're the biggest thing standing in our way. Just do you and do you well.
Hey everybody, Tony Horton here, and it's time to power up. Today, my guest is an extremely funny comedian. You might know her from Mad TV, where she created the iconic character Bon Qui Qui. She has stand-up specials on Netflix, Amazon, you name it. She's a podcaster, author, and currently touring the country with her brand new stand-up special. Please welcome the amazing Anjelah Johnson Reyes. Anjelah,
Hey!
how are you?
I'm doing well.
It's so great that you're here. I'm so honored. I really appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. This is gorgeous.
Well, we rented the place. I have no idea where we are. This is
Airbnb.
Yeah. We rented it out. So let's get right into it.
All right.
All right. Now you've had a kind of an amazing run, honestly, and I was studying you. I was cramming for this.
Okay.
And it's just
I'll
amazing.
quiz you.
Okay. Oh God. The spider bit, my wife loves. But I'm a fitness guy, right? That's kind of my thing. I've made I tried stand up for a couple of years.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you did it for a couple years. Now I'm interviewing you because now I gotta know. What was your experience like with that?
I was always kind of a funny kid. I had a speech impediment as a kid, and it was really hard for me to kind of communicate. And a buddy of mine said, let's just kind of go do open mic nights. And we did for a while, and we would rent out these little places on Monday. Trees are going down in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's really, right, there's a whole thing happening.
We're being heckled by trees.
We're going to keep going. And it was fun, and it thickened my skin a little bit, and I got kind of comfortable. I did sort of an NC-17, kind of an irreverent physical thing, and because I was a physical guy, and I enjoyed it, on the nights that I was doing well, and other nights there's, 3 guys in the audience, and they're throwing things at you.
Yeah.
And, it's 2 a.m. because that's the slot you got,
Yeah.
So other than being one of the funniest women in America, maybe the world, maybe the universe.
Thank you.
The universe. I hear you're amazing on Saturn. You're the best.
Thank you.
But you also had a kind of an athletic beginning.
Yeah.
A little bit. You're sort of a track athlete and soccer. Tell me about that.
Well, I grew up very athletic because I have a competitive dad who would put me in all the sports. But he was also on a budget.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So he wouldn't sign me up for the actual team where you have to pay for registration and get a uniform and stuff. He would just train me himself and then take me to the track meets and sign me up and have me race. Yeah. And then I would win. So I was good. I was fast.
Wow.
But then he did put me in soccer, softball. I did competitive cheerleading. My dad.
Wow. Competitive cheerleading.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah. Since I was 8 years old, I did competitive cheerleading.
Did you have time for school or breathing?
Yeah, I didn't love school so much. That was probably my least favorite activity.
Yeah.
Listen, it wasn't in my wheelhouse. But my dad did he was on a men's soccer team and softball team into his 60s. He was in the 60 and over league and stuff like that. So my dad has always been super athletic. And it was an activity of his. If we were just walking to the store, he's okay, first one to the grocery carts, win. And then all us kids are racing. Me and my siblings, we're all racing to the grocery cart. So it was always an athlete type mentality around the house. He was always very competitive and trying to build that in us.
You and the siblings?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Of all the sports that you were forced to do, were they forced upon you, or did you enjoy doing them, or what?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little bit of both. My dad was also the coach sometimes, and he was very mean. He was an aggressive coach. So he's kind of scary on the field and at home,
kind
to
of
be
a
honest.
great Santini type.
He was a bit much, but then it was also really fun, and it taught me a lot of lessons in my life that I do appreciate. And I got to meet a lot of friends and make friends.
That's very cool. Of all the sports, what was your favorite?
Cheerleading.
Cheerleading.
Yes.
Wow.
that's the one I did all the way till
now,
I was an adult.
am I allowed to say that you were a Raiders cheerleader?
Yes, you're allowed to say it loud and proud.
That is really, and is it also true that you performed at a Super Bowl?
I did.
What was that like?
I mean, it was great until we started losing. Then it was sad. It was a sad because we weren't just losing, like we were being demolished. So it was embarrassing at one point. But it was an incredible experience. I mean, I got my first time going to an actual football game. I was on the field as a cheerleader. My first time I got to go to a Super Bowl. It's the first and only time I've ever been to a Super Bowl. I was on the field and it was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. All right, we're going to shift gears.
Okay.
Right after that chainsaw stops.
He's also shifting gears.
He's, boom. You're here all day, by the way. So comedy. Now, in and amongst all those activities as a kid with the siblings, was your mom athletic?
Not really.
No, kind of dad's thing?
Yeah.
Were you sort of the class clown early on, or when did that all start? When did that all kick in?
I don't think I was a class clown. My whole family is funny. My dad is hilarious. My siblings are hilarious. Like our text thread that we have with each other
is hilarious.
Let me tell you, we could win awards. It's stellar.
Do they try to compete with you because you make it?
I'm not the funniest one.
Wow.
No.
Who wins that?
Oh, I would say my brother Kenny is the quickest one in the family.
Really?
Quick wit.
A wordsmith he is.
Oh man, he's real quick. And he's quick until you put him on the spot. Like he's not a performer. That's the difference.
Right.
I'm a performer. He's not a performer. So like if you were to put him on stage, put him on a microphone, or even if I'm writing something and I'm like, okay, I need a good pun for this or whatever, and I'll call my brother and be like, hey, what's a good pun for this? He'll stumped. He's like, I don't know anything. Like if you want something from him in the comedy realm, he's like, he gets like nervous or something.
But he's spontaneously pretty good.
Oh my God. Quick. He's funny.
Yeah.
What
does he do for a living?
Hair.
He does hair.
Yeah.
Oh, people must love him.
Oh yeah. And he's like got tattoos like all over his body. Like he's like, he doesn't look like he would be funny. Like walking down the street, he looks a little bit scary, but he's hilarious.
Well, how about that?
Yeah.
So now let's get back to you.
Okay.
So the whole family's funny. You're funny. It's a competition. The text threads are funny.
Yeah.
When did you finally go, okay, because you were a cheerleader, right? You were making a living there. Is that when did it come right immediately? Like,
now,
I'm kind of done with this
living, let's dissect that a little bit.
Yeah, because I know other cheerleaders where it's just like, yeah.
At the time, which is 2002, 2003, we were the highest paid cheerleaders in the NFL, the Oakland Raiders. Highest paid cheerleaders in the NFL, everybody.
More than the Cowboys.
At a whopping $80 a game. Wow. Pause for that one. Wow. We were rich. Let me tell you.
You were masochists then.
My whole season, my check for the whole season, because you just got one check at the end of the season, was like $560. That's how much I got paid. That was my living.
So how were you didn't make, so how?
Everybody had full-time jobs.
Oh, really? But you had to rehearse. You had to.
Yeah.
Is it still like that?
I don't know. I hope not. I hope they pay him a little bit more. But we would rehearse 3 times a week, and rehearsals are free. And the way we made our money. Did they give you water at all? Yeah, we did get water in a little like disposable like cone cup, you know,
right out of the cooler.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the water boy would bring it out.
The one at the hotel gyms, like that. We got that one.
Classy with a K.
We did get to make money on calendar sales.
Oh.
So that's where we got to make our money. That's how I made the money to move to LA and pursue my dreams. So I came from being an Oakland Raiders cheerleader, Raiderette. I made money selling calendars, and then I went to the Super Bowl, came home from the Super Bowl. That very next weekend, I packed up my bags and I moved to LA. And I've been here ever since.
You're like, I want to be a comic. That's it.
I want to be an actress. I didn't know I could be a comedian. I didn't know I was funny. It was just my whole family was funny.
Stop it!
Yeah.
To be an actress.
Yeah. I came here. I thought I was going to be a dramatic actress. Like, I wanted to play a rape victim on Law & Order SVU. Like, that was
Doesn't everyone know?
Like, that's what that was my dream. And then I started telling jokes. And I guess I was good at it. And it started to take off. And so the way I started stand-up is at a church, which is very interesting. So there was this church in Hollywood. It's still there. It's called the Oasis. But every Tuesday night, they used to do creative arts night where they would have like a dance class, an acting class. Like if you wanted to be in production, they had a production class. Like they knew that a lot of people in their church were in the entertainment industry and had dreams and aspirations. So Tuesday nights, they would do all these classes. And I was in the acting class and there was a stand-up comic there. And she was like, hey, do you want to take my joke writing class? And I was like, I don't know. Is it free? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, I guess so. And so I took her joke writing class. One of the very first jokes that I wrote in her free class at the church was the nail salon bit that ended up blowing up my spot on YouTube years later. So that's how I started stand-up, was at a free class at church on Tuesday nights. And I wrote the nail salon joke there.
Wow. And so you had to do some open mic nights first, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember your first open mic night? What'd you get, like 5 minutes or something? 3 minutes? What'd you get?
It was probably like 3 minutes and probably Buzz Cafe. I want to say in Beverly Hills, Buzz Cafe. I don't remember. It's a long time ago.
Yeah. How old were you? What was the year?
I was 24 when I started, when I took that class.
Wow. And so how did it go early on? Was it like, wow.
It was fantastic. Let me tell you, if I was not, I would have never done it again.
Seriously, you were getting applause breaks and
my very first time. So the graduation from
slapping.
the class. Oh, I had all the knee slaps. I had the stand-ups and just, all the things.
Did you pull on my leg, or you just had people?
No, it was good. I did good. I don't know if I had the.
Were you the only comic in America that ever had that kind of early success?
I don't know, but see, the thing is, the graduation from the class was we had to perform at a real comedy club, and everybody in the class did 5 minutes, and the teacher was like, I'm going to pick your 5 minutes that you're going to do. I'll pick your strongest 5 minutes, and you go do those jokes. And she told me, she was like, do all your minutes. I had 12 minutes. So I'm the only one that did 12 minutes.
Really? So she was so happy with your stuff.
I was excelling from the class, but that was my thing. I'm like, am I funny, or am I just funny in this class?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Hard to say. Yeah, hard to know.
So I did my 12 minutes. Crushed it, did well, started doing gigs after that. Like, people would see my set and be like, oh, do you want to do my Tuesday night at the Improv? Oh, do you want to do my Thursday night at this, whatever bar, those types of shows. And so I started getting all these little like hole in the wall shows. But if that first show I didn't do well, like if I bombed, because you hear that a lot, a comic will say like, oh, when I first started, I bombed.
I bombed in front of Mitzi Gaynor at the Comedy Store.
Oh, no.
And I didn't bomb. I don't know. You remember that name, Mitzi?
Yeah,
Did you?
Of course.
You're funny, but there's too much mime and not enough comedy. Go out on the road for 6 weeks and come back. I never went back.
Oh,
I got rejected immediately. I just thought,
I'll just do push-ups.
Yeah, now it's push-ups. Yeah. That's it. Squats and lunges and a couple of crunches, and it worked out.
You did okay.
Did okay.
You did all right.
You remember? Did you ever do the Comedy Store? How'd your first Comedy Store?
Oh man,
go.
I remember I didn't grow up in the Comedy Store like a lot of comics did. I went with a friend one time, and I had already had my first hour special out on Comedy Central.
Oh wow!
And
that's a nice start. Yeah.
So basically, when I started my comedy career, I went on the road right away. And I started building my hour right away, and I filmed my very first hour very soon into my career. But I was scared of the Comedy Store is what it was.
Oh,
it was intimidating to me.
Wow.
And I remember the first time I went with a friend, and I could hear him telling somebody to like give me a spot on stage. And he's like, yeah, she has her hour special. And he's like, I don't care who she is or what hour special she had.
It sounds like the Comedy Store. Yeah.
And I remember being so intimidated by that, being like, oh, I'm never coming back here again. They don't like me, and all the insecure thoughts. So I didn't start really going up at the Comedy Store until recently, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah. I mean, I would go up every now and then if like somebody was doing their own night in the belly room or their own night in this room or whatever, but actual Comedy Store shows.
In the main room.
In the main room, not until recently, in the past few years.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was at the Improv and the Laugh Factory mostly.
Oh, right.
The Improv was the club that I went to most.
So you're from San Jose.
Yes.
Now, you kind of tapped into it a little bit. Was there anything about, other than your family or the neighborhood, or did that have, being a Californian, for example, did it have any influence on kind of who you are, as opposed to maybe growing up in Salt Lake City or something?
It has to.
Yeah.
It's who I am, and San Jose is very diverse. A lot of different people, Latino, Asian, Black, all over the place.
Right.
So I grew up around a lot of different cultures, ethnicities, people, wealthy people, poor people, in the middle. Like, I am very grateful for how I grew up, because I feel like I'm able to connect with more people and relate to more people.
Who would you say, it's interesting, I read a Time magazine article about this, and I'm curious what your answer is, since you have 3 siblings, there's 4 of you, right?
Yes, I have an older half brother as well that we met when I was a teenager. My dad had him in high school.
Oh,
My dad was a ladies' man.
What is it? I gotta meet your father. How old's your dad?
70. 70?
Yeah.
One?
Yeah. So he's like my age almost. Who do you think your main influences were when you were a kid? With your peers, your parents, or your siblings? Like who did you feel like this is how I became?
Oh, my peers
person?
For sure.
Yeah.
Growing up, I talk about in my book. I came up with a book. It's called "Who Do I Think I Am? Stories of Chola Wishes and Caviar Dreams." And
Lovely.
I wanted to be a Chola real bad. And so I had this one friend growing up. Her name is Monica. And she was my idol. Like, she was from the streets. She was a Chola real life. Like, you know, her whole family was like rough around the edges, where like my family was like, we're going to church on Sunday. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
And so like I wanted her life. I wanted that edgy, like bad girl life. And she was my best friend. And so I learned a lot from her growing up. Like probably not the best things, but I learned a lot about drugs and boys and all the things. And so I definitely say my peers had a big influence on me, but I would always come home at the end of the day and I would always have my mom's voice in my ear guiding me. My love and support of my family. My family is very loving and welcoming.
Oh,
and it's hard to stray when you have that much love at home.
But I think it's maybe that friend of yours gave you that edge a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of accelerated your growth. Maybe to some
Oh,
degree.
yeah. Oh, it definitely accelerated my growth for sure. I probably experienced a lot.
She wasn't so crazy that you were, you know.
Oh, no. I mean, we're still friends
They found
today.
you in an alley.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I mean, she went and spent some time in prison. She did do her life. We went different directions for a long time. And then
you had mom there that kind of prevented the prison time.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And then our adult years, we've come back and, you know, she's now.
Has she turned out okay?
She's doing great.
Oh, I'm glad to hear
Yeah.
that. You know, seeing some of you online, watching some of your stuff, you know, you've got the accents down, the characters down. How many total characters would you say you've got right now?
You know,
and accents and stuff like that.
Well,
and part two, how did you kind of mold those into part of your performance?
So.
And there is no.
The interesting thing is, people think that I'm a character comic, that I do a lot of characters. I actually don't. I have my one character, Bon Kwikwi, that I did on Mad TV, but I'm a storyteller in my stand-up, and so I'll do a lot of accents. So even when I did the nail salon joke, I'm not a character, but I'm sharing the
physicality
story.
of that bit is a 10.
Well, sure. Like
I
play her, then I play me.
The way you turn away and you're doing the nails.
Sure.
You know, I mean, that's a character. That's not you, you know. So
then I would say in all my stories, like when I'm acting out my husband, I'm acting out my grandpa in this bit, I'm acting out my Tia Mary in this bit. So I don't know that I would call them characters. I mean, they're characters in my life. But I play both roles in my storytelling when I'm telling the story. Right. So if we put it that way, then I wouldn't know how many characters I have, because I talk about all my family members, my dad, my mom, my siblings. I have a joke about each one of my siblings in there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but as far as my accents, what's interesting.
Because you pick them up really easily. Like just a few minutes ago.
Ear.
Right? You can, I think I'm pretty good at them. You know, I do my Arnold, I do my Irish, my Scottish. I try to, I'll even break down like sections of England, like Cockney or whatever. That was always because of the speech issue I had as a child. You know, I stuttered and stammered. It was called cluttering. It was the type of speech issue I had. And so when I went into a character, it slowed me down. I would focus on that, and I wouldn't be that guy so much.
That's so interesting. Yeah. There's a lot of accents that I can't do for the life of me.
All right, now, I'm going to pin you down.
Okay.
How many do you think you have pretty good?
Just like a handful. I mean.
Well, your English is spot on.
English, Spanish, Vietnamese. So I can do like a couple sentences in accents.
Okay.
But the ones that I can like have a full conversation, I will make you believe that I speak this
Jamaican?
as a first language. No
Jamaican.
Another one of my best friends is Australian, and I cannot.
Tough one.
Oh, she hates it. Every time I try to do her accent, she's like, no.
Nope. Stop.
I'm like,
Another-
actually,
like-
yeah.
Like,
And she's like, no, that's
she's going
New
shrimp
Zealand.
on the ball, babe. Wrong.
Yeah.
It's so, like that. No, I'm sorry. That's South African. You're getting it wrong.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
she's just like, no, every time, no.
Mm.
But I try still.
Yeah. So this special, this is all new material.
Yes.
And how long have you given yourself time to sort of suss it out, work it out? Like how many nightclub gigs have you done? And do you get up there with a piece of paper or a laptop and just say, all right, everybody, I'm working on my material now?
I have my notebook that I take with me
Oh, you do?
when I'm writing new stuff.
Yeah.
I have my phone that's recording my audio.
Yeah.
I started writing last year, and by the end of the year, I had my hour, which is probably the quickest I've ever written a full hour before. It usually takes me like a year and a half, 2 years to write a full new hour. This hour, I started writing in April, and by the end of the year, I was ready to go. I guess I had a lot to say. I didn't even realize it.
Well, did COVID have anything to do with that? All that downtime?
Sure. I mean, that's what my hour is basically about, my life after COVID, like all the things that have changed for me, splitting my time with Nashville, learning how to be in the South as a California girl, like all the different things. So, yeah, I'm talking a lot about my life after COVID.
So during COVID, I did a little podcast with Sanjay Gupta. You know, Sanjay Gupta is really super nice man, amazing. He said that his wife came up with 4 categories for people during COVID. There were the chunks. That's what I'm going to eat.
Yeah.
There were the drunks. They're going to use alcohol. There were the monks. The people were just like, I'm not leaving forever. I don't care. And then there were the hunks. And I figured out the first one. I go, what's the hunk? He goes, people just went, here's a crazy opportunity for me to go, all in. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to up my work ethic. I'm going to really take advantage this time. And I said, I think you forgot a category. And he said, what's that? I go, the punks. What are the punks? I go, the people who just think the whole thing's a joke and it's fake and they went about their business. And some survived it and some didn't. But what were you?
The first 3. Oh man,
you were a chunk?
Ate all the food, drank all the drinks,
and hung out at home.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was in the beginning, we were just waking up, and I had a garden, and so we would go in the garden, and we would harvest, and we would make food. We would make cocktails every day. We were drinking cocktails.
Wow.
We were just
we
were having the best time at our little quarantine.
Who was we? Just you and your husband?
Me, my husband, and my best friend Penelope and her son moved in with us during that time.
Oh, wow.
So, it was all of us. And we had a great time. We did a lot of meditating. We did a lot of yoga. I did a lot of journaling. I did a lot of introspective work.
Which helped kind of build this hour that you've got now.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very cool. Very good. So you've got this hour. And you spent a lot of that time, during COVID to kind of come up with it. But what was the first thought or inclination and what direction to go in? I mean, I know for the hour, there's going to be multiple topics, I'm assuming. But is there any kind of a theme that runs all the way through? And if there is, like, what was the thing that inspired you for this particular special coming up?
The first jokes that I started writing was about moving to Nashville. And my life after COVID, when things started to open back up. Those are the first jokes that I started writing. It was like, I remember when things started to shut down, this is how I felt. And when things started to open back up, this is what I did. And so those were the beginnings of my writing. As I was performing, I was realizing starting with that material was like starting on a funky energy. So then I put different material before that, and I started talking about my age, me getting older, and a lot of me stuff, and how I shop now, and the stores that I go to now, and those kinds of things. And then I transitioned into the COVID stuff because people don't want to hear it.
They don't want to hear it?
They did. Like it was either every comic was talking about COVID,
right?
Or it was like, just tell us about anything else. And so I would start the show. It's about me, blah, 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 blah. And we're still talking about me, but now we're talking about my life after COVID. So it's not like my joke is about COVID. It's still about me, but the background is COVID,
right. And the response has been good thus far.
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah.
It's very relatable as well, because at that point, people are like, oh my God, me too. Oh yeah, we moved too. Oh, we did this too.
Right. I think there's many people who don't want to hear about COVID anymore. I think they enjoy hearing perspective about what somebody else went through.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And sort of the after effect, which is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
so I think they'll, I haven't seen it, but I guess I will. When's your first LA date. Do you have an LA date?
I already did it.
Rats!
Where were you?
Dang it! What, Zach? Supposed to tell me. So where else are you going?
Oh, man.
Because I have friends in Nashville. I'm going to be, I might go visit them. And
well, I'm filming my next special in Nashville.
when's the date of that? October 1st.
October 1st, I'm filming my next special.
Well, I know my wife's going to say, let's go. You probably can't even count on the hairs on your head how many different shows you've done over the course of all this time. But big venue, like where you're like, this is a big deal. There's going to be a lot of people out there. Mm-hmm. You've done, I don't know, dozens, would you say, of shows, whether it's 2,500 or more. What's the biggest venue you ever did?
I've done like some radio shows at amphitheaters. But I think my theater range now, the most that I've done is probably like, we'll do 3,000 seats, maybe. We're doing back-to-back shows. Like when I go to Texas, like for instance, I'm doing Texas and we'll do shows that are back-to-back, but it seats 2,000. So it's like 4,000 people if there was a big enough venue. But if the next big venue is an arena, and I'm definitely not at arena status yet. Yeah.
Would you like to get arena status?
Something I think it would be cool to do
Carnegie Hall
for a little while. I don't know that I love the intimate shows, but I would love the experience to see what it's like. Right. You know, that would be great.
Right. I was a trained mime, pantomime, and so when I started out, I came to town with $400. I went down to the Santa Monica Pier. I went to Westwood. I put down the hat. I'd make $25, and I'd live on Cheerios and yogurt for 3 or 4 days, and I'd repeat that pattern. And I'd hang out at the beach and play volleyball or do whatever, or just smoke weed. You know what I mean? That's kind of my start. But I remember the first time I was in front of 26,000 people.
Whoa.
Doing a fitness thing.
Wow.
Where, you know, they shut down a whole main avenue of a city in Indianapolis, I think it was. And just being out in front of that many people doing my thing was pretty wild. Was there a venue where maybe it wasn't about the size or how many people, where you just felt like, this is gold. Like you're just sitting in it, where you're just like waiting for the applause to come down so you can do the next. Can you remember? Do you have any gigs?
McAllen, Texas.
Tell me about that.
So what's interesting is I'm going to Texas, and currently right now, McAllen is my least selling tickets of venue. Like McAllen is one that's like, no, we're over it. Thank you. We don't want to come to your show.
You were hilarious, but we're done.
Yeah. So I'm like, that's weird. McAllen ticket sales are really low right now. But my best show, come on, McAllen, get with it.
McAllen, come on now. You loved her last time.
But the best show I've ever had was years ago in McAllen, Texas. And I don't know what it was, but I remember my first punchline, the laughter came up to this, it like hit my body, and it was so jarring. I remember it frightened me. And that was the first time I had ever been scared by a laugh.
Wow.
Because it was so powerful, and it was the vibration of the energy came and hit me, and I was like, and I remember it like kind of set me off a little bit. I was like, oh, whoa. And then the next punchline, it was like, I had to get used to the energy that was coming at me. And then once I finally did, it was just the whole rest of the show was like swimming in this energy of like high vibration. Like I can't even explain it. It was incredible. I remember walking off that stage going, I can't believe I just experienced that right now. That was unreal.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
But you're not always trying to find that high. I would assume it's
No, I just go, I do it because I wasn't trying to find it that night. Right. I just came out and it was there.
But after you had the H right there, that was like that felt really good. You know, for me, when I tried it, and I was also part of Second City LA, improv was kind of my thing, kind of being quick that way, and I would always fall. I did a fantastic Columbo. That was my thing, like with the overcoat on or whatever, and go out in the audience. But I loved how scary improv was, because it was, it was just, what's the old adage with improv? And yes, right?
Yeah, yes and.
Yes and.
Yeah.
And that was just fun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also was a waiter and a go-go dancer at Chippendales and a mime at the pier and an electrician, and I did anything I could. I built furniture, I did whatever I could in those early years.
You were a carpenter and a stripper. You were...
I'm not a stripper. I was a go-go dancer. Big difference.
Okay, yeah. No, I was a go-go dancer too.
You were?
Yes.
Yeah, at the so at the end, when Chippendales would open up after the show, like they let dudes go in, right? And then, all the ladies would still be there, and then guys would come in, and I was on a box, like a little box about this big, popping and locking.
Yeah, look at you go.
Something. Surprised it, didn't I? And I'm 64 and I'm hurt.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I got fired because I accidentally did a spin and kicked the owner and knocked a bunch of.
Oh no!
Yeah, he fired me the next day. It was an accident though.
It was an accident.
$23.50 an hour.
Whoa!
I was insane.
Whoa!
But I'm talking about me. It's not about me.
Yeah.
So what would you say to the young comedians, right? Because they're still coming. It's summertime when we did this interview here, and they're coming from Wisconsin. They're coming from Florida. They're coming down from Wyoming, going to California. You were very fortunate. You had a lot of success early.
Right.
So you stayed relatively optimistic, I bet.
Right.
You know, for me, I'd have a couple of decent shows. I finished with this crazy bit. I cranked up 9-inch nails and I did this very salacious mime thing at the end, like a 5-minute. I won't even tell.
Is there a video of this?
There is. It was less of this and more of, what's he doing? You know what I mean? Because I was my friend when I had writing partners. They would say, you know, you're not always funny, but you're very comfortable up there. That was always that was more the line for me. But it was hard, you know what I mean? And then I got into the fitness thing and I started training celebrities, and I just kind of fell in love with that. And then you know everything just was fluky after that. How it all got better than that. But what would you tell? Because not everybody has your story when they come in, right? You came to be an actress.
Yeah.
And then you did a class and then you did a thing at church. I used to do mime at this church to raise money, you know, for this church in Rhode Island where I was living at the time. What would you tell comics? Like, what would be the advice for somebody who has come as far as you've come?
My advice is always do you and do you well. So don't try to be the comic who went up before you. Don't try to be your favorite headliner. Do you. What makes you unique and you special? Do you and do you well. Show up for yourself to the best of your ability. Don't half-ass it. Just show up for yourself because we're the biggest thing standing in our way. So just do you and do you well.
How's that journey been as you sort of evolved through your career?
It's honestly been a vulnerable space, but a very freeing space as well because I get to write what I want to talk about. And as I evolve and grow, I see my fan bases also evolving and growing. And I think there's still you're never going to please everybody. So there's
So for that one crowd in Texas.
Right.
It pleased them all.
Like when a music artist comes out with a new album and maybe they went in a little different direction. Some people are on board for the ride and they're like, yeah, this is great. Yeah. And other people are like that. They're like, I like your old stuff better. You changed, blah, blah, whatever. So I'm sure it's the same thing with my stand-up. But honestly, I feel like I operate and move with how I'm comfortable, where I feel comfortable pushing the limits and the envelope, or I feel comfortable sharing this part of me that has changed and evolved. I used to believe this and now I believe this, and I used to talk about this and now I talk about this. So I feel like this journey has been vulnerable, and I've been able to explore that in my podcast that I do with my husband and our friend Brandon, where we talk about deconstructing our faith and reconstructing our faith, of figuring out what we believe and subscribe to and what we no longer subscribe to. And taking that and putting it into my stand-up is a very delicate journey for me. But I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed walking the line of, and it's my own line that I put there. Right. You know what I mean? Like this line means nothing to anyone else. It's my own line of what I used to say, believe, and where I'm at now, and what do I feel comfortable sharing with the audience, you know?
So as a fitness guy, it used to be all physical for me, but now it's more mental and emotional. I just want to be happy. It's about joy, happiness, and laughter. Yeah. That's my wife and I. Joy, happiness, and laughter. What do I got to do? Happiness, it's in the Constitution, the pursuit of.
Come on.
Come on.
Let's go. So let's get it. It's un-American to not be happy.
Hello. But a lot of people are very sad.
Yeah.
They're sad and depressed right now because there's so many like Putin is such a douche.
He's sad.
He's mad is what he is. He's sad and he's mad. And I think he has syphilis or something.
He's got something.
He's got something going on. So when you're touring And then for me, you know, I mean, I'm going to do a big thing. I do a yoga sequence. I'll do sun salutations, and it just kind of warms me up and stretches me out. And it activates the temporal lobe and the dentate gyrus, which is this little important thing inside your cranium, right in the center, which releases the norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, all these really like these stimulants inside of the brain. A lot of people are using sources outside of themselves, you know, drugs and alcohol and porn or whatever their thing is. But when you when you're the source, you know, you create that on your own and you release these chemicals, and you're going to go on this 2-month tour. Yeah. Like, what is your plan of attack when it comes to just keeping your energy up? Do you ever show up on stage and go, because sometimes I'm just wasted. And I think if I don't have my little meditation here or my yoga here, I wouldn't even know how I'm going to pull this off.
I do yoga in my hotel room all the time. I do my morning stretch, my morning routine. Which is also like my meditation time, and I do like my energy medicine and just my prayer time. And so sometimes I slack with it and I wake up late or, you know, whatever it is. But when I'm like on my game, I wake up in the morning, I'll make myself tea or coffee. I do my yoga stretching, my breathing, my journaling, and that's pretty much how I regenerate my energy and keep myself going. But when I'm home, I like to get into the gym and do like the boot camp workouts. I love that. I like to feel tough. I like to feel like, I think that's my dad instilling that competitiveness in me. I didn't love CrossFit, like just straight CrossFit.
Can be hard on the joints sometimes.
Yeah, I didn't love that. But I do love a good competition boot camp class.
Ever do that, wait a minute, it's P90X, ever hear of that one?
I did a long time ago.
You did?
Yeah, at home.
What do you think of that guy?
It was cool. Yeah. It's all right.
Fine.
You know,
whatever. Whatever. I got a new one out. We'll get you on the platform. It's called the Power 4.
What is this?
Power 4. It's exercise, nutrition, supplementation, and mindfulness or meditation. Yeah. Which are kind of how, that's my wheelhouse right in there. If I do those four things consistently over time, then I'm there. Which sounds like you're kind of there.
Yeah, I can tell when I'm not on my A game in one of the fields that you're talking about. I haven't been taking my supplements, or I haven't been doing my meditation and my yoga. I haven't been to the gym in a while. I can feel it in my body. I'll get like snappy or moody, or I'm just tired all the time. And then I'll be like, oh, okay, what am I slacking at? Oh, I haven't even been doing my yoga in the morning.
It's always the solution. Yeah. Because I mean, I've learned it's the foundation to who we are. Truly. I mean, when I was, drinking beer and hanging out and eating triple cheese chimichangas and smoking weed and hanging out with my pals and sleeping until noon so I could, get the last Egg McMuffin at McDonald's, you know what I mean, every day. It was not a good way to live.
No, but it kind of still sounds like a fun day, though. A little bit. Like a little bit.
Yeah, but not very productive.
Yeah.
And in massive debt.
Yeah.
And a lot of sadness and depression.
I didn't love that.
No. So for me, it's got to be consistent. And it sounds like you had an athletic childhood. Yeah. You got a routine now. You're going on the road. So I'll give you a little something.
Thank you.
And, because the yoga is great. It's great. But there are a couple of other things that you can do to maybe activate more muscle, more muscle recruitment.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Arms, back, core, all that kind of stuff. This was amazing. You're amazing. I'm so glad you were able to do this with me. Before we finish, though, tell the planet and the universe how we can find you. How can we learn about that tour for people who live in Texas who haven't bought them tickets yet?
Come on, everybody. And Florida, too. Get with it, Florida. I'm touring the whole rest of the year. You can go to Anjelah.com for tickets, ANJELAH.com for tickets. It's called the Who Do I Think I Am Tour, which is the same title as my book, Who Do I Think I Am? Stories of Chola Wishes and Caviar Dreams. You can get that on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible. You can hear me read the book to you. Everywhere you buy books, you can find my book, Who Do I Think I Am?
Wow. I feel like your dad. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. No, you're not my dad. My dad doesn't say those words.
he doesn't say he's proud of you?
Thank you so much. I really
appreciate it.
What is
your dad's name?
Mitchell.
Mitchell! Right here, right now, I want you to get on the phone. I want you to call your daughter, and I want you to tell her how proud you are. I just met her, and I'm proud of her. Come on. And she's so accomplished. She's done so much. She makes people laugh. She makes them feel good. She helps them be in the moment. And her husband's very fine young man too. I look forward to bringing him here to work out with me. But I wanted to say, Anjelah, you're amazing. Thank you for being here today. That was a blast. Best of luck on your tour.
Thank you.
I know you're going to kill it. I hope you get those huge waves of energy where you're just a little bit scared, but also energized too. So
thank you.
Right on.
There we go.
That's the only one I can do. Yes. So what is the Paragon experience? If you look at the definition of Paragon in the dictionary, it's seeking to be your best. Just 24 people supporting each other throughout the process, no matter whether it's a seminar, whether it's a pool workout or an obstacle course in the backyard. Why is Ninja part of the whole thing? Because the fun factor is through the roof.
Ninja teaches you strength, balance, agility, all wrapped in one.
It's life-changing.
Hey everybody, Tony Horton here with Anjelah. That was an amazing interview.
Thank you.
You're so insightful and smart and funny and wonderful.
Not just
Truly.
a hat rack, my friend.
No. Your husband's a lucky boy.
Thank you.
As am I with my lovely as well. So that was the interview portion of our program.
Okay.
And now we're going to get into some exercise. Now I call this routine the Road Warrior.
Okay.
All right, because I like this because anywhere, anytime, if there is gravity, and if there is a human body, which you have, which there is, then you can do this routine. Now you have a nice sun salutation practice. So what I would say is you're going to do your sun salutations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I don't care. Or you do some other kind of, you show me your capoeira move. Oh yeah, look at that. Yes.
Whoa.
Right. This is how she dusts her counters, by the way. Just add a rag in each hand there.
I think I almost pulled a butt cheek right there.
Yeah. Welcome to the club. So that's how you would start. You'll do an upper body push-up. All kinds, whatever. You can do 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 5 or 6 rounds. 6 is kind of enough. You'll feel like you got a heck of a workout. But 3 rounds with the push-ups, the cardio, which is typically a minute. And if you don't have a stopwatch, then just kind of wing it in your head. Okay. And then you'll get on the deck and do abs, typically 20 or 30 reps. And then last but not least is legs. Lunges, plyo, squats, whatever. Again, 20 or 30 reps.
Got it.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. All right. So the first thing is always a push-up. Chaturanga push-up, wide push-up, one hand in front of the other push-up, push-up side arm balance. I don't care.
Okay.
But I usually like to make the first round easy.
Okay.
Basic push-ups, typically just short of max.
Ooh.
So the last 3 aren't like this. You're just, you're feeling it. So how many push-ups? We're not going to do a bunch of rounds.
Okay.
But we'll just do 1 full round so you get a sense of the vibe.
Okay.
How many do you think you can do?
I think I could do 5 push-ups and then I'm going to be shaky.
All right. So here's an amazing thing that you don't know that I know about you and I've only known you for half a day. You can do 10.
Yeah. But I'll be shaky. You said before you get to the shaky.
Yeah, but I don't want you to go super deep.
Oh.
So do 10 shallow ones.
Okay.
And that's still good. You're still activating your chest, your shoulders. You can go deep later in life. But right now, that's the thing. I'll have people in an audience and I'll say, who can't do push-ups? And the hands go up and I'll bring 10 people and they all can do 10, but they just didn't know how to do 10.
Okay.
All right. So pick a depth that you think you can do 10 times and make your feet go wide and you get better balance that way. So try that. And then, now you're doing military push-ups. Put your hands a little wider, right? And then this time when you go down, let the elbows come toward me and then over, good. 1, 2, look forward slightly, right there. 3, 4, and go as fast as you want. 5, and 6, and breathe 2, and 7, and 8, no shaky yet, and 9. Is 10 enough?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The grunt tells me everything. All right, so the next move is kind of a cardio move.
Oh yeah, and it moves too. I can feel it here more than
that
is
here because your feet are on the ground. It's automatic core, it's automatic glutes, it's automatic chest, shoulders, and triceps. Okay. And a little bit of biceps. That's kind of a tertiary area. All right. This would normally be done, the cardio thing, for about 60 seconds. Okay. But let's say you don't have a timer and you don't have a stopwatch and you're in a hotel room. So you're just gonna kind of guess it. Okay. All right. So this is gonna be simple jumping jacks for about a minute, and I'm just gonna count them. All right. All right. You know how to do a jumping jack. And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. Tell me a joke right now.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
I don't know why you even said knock knock.
I know. That's funny though. It's a good setup.
How many more?
You're about 3/4 of the way, so you got about 15 seconds before you have to move on. Yeah.
Okay, I remember it now.
All right, what is it?
Why was 6 afraid of 7?
I don't know. Why was 6 afraid of 7?
Usually people say because 7 ate 9,
Oh,
but that's not the truth.
it's a carnivore then.
It's because
These are
7 was a 6 offender.
You know what I love about that joke? Here's what I love about that joke. How much you got a kick out of it. Yeah. Nice.
Are we at a minute yet?
You're at a minute. All right, so now you're gonna do, so you've got your chest, you got your cardio, so the heart rate's up a little bit.
Yeah.
Now you go to your core.
Okay.
So you do 20 to 30. Well, so lay on your back there. I would get on an angle, feet there, head there. So it's the camera's not in any kind
Here?
of weird spot. Yeah, so your back is on the mat more a little bit. Yeah. So you know what bicycles are?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So you decide whether you want to do 20 or 30 bicycles.
30.
Oh, all right, I like that. So extend, yeah, and go. And 1, and 2, which is technically 63, and 4, and 5, good. And 6, and 7, and 8. How's that feel? And 9,
Except for my mic pack.
10, ow, 11, 12, 13, you're a trooper. 14, that's halfway, keep going, good. 16, 17, 18, nice. 19, 20, here we go, you got 10, 9, good. 8, 7, no strain at all. 6, looking good. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You are 3/4 of the way through the first round.
Okay.
All right, now we want to finish with a leg exercise. It can be a squat, it can be a lunge, it can be something plyometric in nature.
Okay.
And the reason why they're in this sequence is because the first exercise you do is mostly upper body. All right. I mean, we don't have access to equipment,
Right.
but you're doing all that upper body stuff. Then we change gears completely, let that kind of recover, and then do the cardio.
Yep.
And then we get away from the cardio, and then we do the core,
Okay.
which is, something completely different. And then we finished with legs, and that way your body is now prepared for the beginning of the second round, which is upper body again. So let me show you a basic leg exercise. And now the first leg exercise I'd like to do in the sequence is really mellow, really basic, because you don't want to be jumping out of the box. You're still kind of warming up, right? So you know what a goblet squat is?
Yep.
So this is really good for, your posterior chain, the backside of your body, right? So you go down, maybe palm the floor, bring your hands here, whatever you can do. And then when you come up, squeeze your glutes, drive your pelvis forward, and squeeze your glutes. Again, this is another 20 or 30 rep dealio. And toes out. So how many do you want to do?
Wait, so it's just here.
Here.
And all the way
so
back up.
You can go here. You can reach for the floor just to see how deep you are. But the goal here is in the goblet squat is to avoid being this way, right? You want to if the camera can see you and you can see the camera, you're doing it right. So
All right,
20 or
let's
30.
do 30.
All right, good. 1. And then squeeze your glute at the top. 2, perfect. 3, pace is good. 4, 5, let's see if I got a joke. 6, they're all so lame. 7, 8, maybe I'll just do mime while you're doing that. 14, you feeling these? 15.
I feel here.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're supposed to feel.
Okay.
16, yeah, good. 17, 18, chest and eyes up at the bottom. 29, and 30. There you go.
Woo.
So good, right?
Yeah.
So, 3 rounds, you're going to feel something.
Oh, for sure.
All right, right? I mean, obviously, and the idea here is to create some muscle activation, right? In all different parts of your body in different ways. When we get into the leg stuff and the cardio stuff, we're working a lot more, not only your legs, obviously, but your heart and lungs. So there's that calorie burn, and there's also that conditioning of the heart and improving lung capacity and all the basic stuff.
Yes.
Right? And you don't need any equipment, you don't need any stuff, a mat, a carpet, whatever works.
Love that.
All right. So now what you have the option, what you would do, or what anybody who would want to do the Road Warrior workout would do is, like, I don't want to be creative today. I'm just going to do those 4 exercises, and I'm going to do them clean, I'm going to do them right, and I'm going to do them 3 times, and I'm off to the races. Or you can do 4, or you can do 5, or you can do 6. If you want to do that many, right?
Yeah.
Or as somebody who's an athlete and has some creativity, obviously you've got both of those things going. What I'm going to have you do on the second round, because you don't know this is coming, you have to, it's like roll the dice. I'm going to tell you the type of exercise, and you pick something that is different than the one you just did.
Okay.
All right. So it's a push-up again. How would you, you're just in your room. It's like, Okay, I got a half an hour here, and I'm going to try to be creative instead of just doing the same thing. How would you make that push-up different this time?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'll be honest. I picked 30 because I thought I was only doing one round. But okay. Let's see.
Oh, we don't have to. How about you just show me a couple? Show me a couple.
Okay, a creative push-up, different
Yes.
from what I just did.
And if you can't, I'll show you one.
And I have to do 10.
You can do whatever you want. You can do
Okay,
5.
what if I did a push-up jumping jack? Like, you know, where you
Basically a burpee.
like
Oh, I love that. Do a couple more. And 2. That's excellent. And 3. Eyes forward just a little bit. And 4. It's better for your spine. And 5. Is that enough?
What were you thinking?
What's that?
If I did, you said you were going to tell me one?
No, that was great.
Okay.
That was great. And so you always do whatever number that you want to do based on what you can do.
Okay.
You have to be you.
Yeah.
All right. You're not trying to compete with anybody or anything.
Sure.
All right. So if you start to feel, if you feel like in your mind, I could probably do 4 or 5 more.
Yeah.
You should probably do them.
Okay.
Because that's where the money is. That's where the
Yeah.
magic is. That's
Okay.
where the body changes. If you always, because too many people overtrain, and then the majority of most people don't get results because they undertrain. All right, but you don't want to be shaking and nauseous. You
Yeah.
don't want to get that far.
Yeah.
So right there, you have to decide what number you want to do.
Yeah, I could definitely do more.
Yeah. So
sure.
on the road, you will.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So have you ever done any martial arts?
A little bit. What were you thinking? Like this thing?
That's a little capoeira. Yeah. That's if you. I don't know who you're going to beat up doing that. Hell
I never took that class. I just saw videos.
Capoeira is amazing. Capoeira would be a lovely. You know what animal flow is?
What?
Animal flow. We're going to get you the power of 4, 25 routines. This thing called primal flow, and that thing, it will blow your mind. You'll dig it. My buddy Michael Bradley kind of crafted this workout for me for this program. It's amazing. He's so talented. He's got long hair. He's a very beautiful boy.
Good.
And he's funny.
He seems like he would be good at this one then with his long hair.
He would love. Yeah, that is great. So it's going to be a hook elbow, right? Cross, down strike.
Down strike.
Down
Get him.
strike, yeah. Hook
elbow, cross, down strike.
Yeah, so normally you would do 30 seconds per side, but then I'm just going to do 10 per side.
I'll be honest. The left is going to throw off my dancer mind, but okay.
Oh, yeah, it's good. You're getting outside your...
Ba,
boom.
down.
Yeah, so it's 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
So there's your opponent, right? You hit him in the cheek. You break his nose. He's down. And when he's down, what do?
Get him again.
Right? Finish him off.
Finish the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Oh,
Hook
cross.
Yeah. Boom.
Get him.
Yeah. On that down strike,
Okay.
try not to bend over so much. Actually lunge into it a little bit. So
Lunge
it's less of
into
this.
him.
Just better for your back and
Okay.
stuff like that. Are
Yes.
you ready?
I'm ready.
Let me see your fighter face. Oh, do not mess, children. You ready? 1, 2,
Watch
3,
it.
go. And 1, boom, 1. Good. More of a
Okay.
lunge, less of a bend
yeah.
over.
Boom.
1, boom,
Ga.
2.
Boom.
Yeah, again. 1, 2, 3.
It's hard to punch without making sound effects, I'll be honest.
Make sound effects. Go get those.
Ka.
4.
Yeah.
Huh.
Ha.
Ha. So we do kaya. You know what kayas are?
Kaya.
So it's like this. Hop, hop, hop.
Oh, that's professional. Okay.
That's what they pay me. Hop, hop. Or do it on the third down strike only. So it's like 1, 2, hop. 1, 2, hop.
Okay.
All right. Let me louder than that. Good. 1, 2, hop. 2 more on that side. 1, 2, hop. 1 more on that side. 1, 2, hop. Now change your feet. So now that's your hook elbow. That's your cross. And then we're back to your down strike there. Yeah. So on that down strike, so here I am on the down strike, right? So it's hook elbow, boom. And it's avoid this. It's just, there he is, right? So you got this nice little squat that you add. Like see how low my booty is?
Yeah.
Boom, right there like that. Yeah, better. All right? Yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of, he's not completely
Yeah, he's not completely down.
He's kind of like a little groggy.
He's like sitting,
you're
like
gonna-
the birds are spinning like
They're
this.
around. The little cartoon birds are going around.
Yeah, finish him.
Yes,
Okay.
nice. All right, we're gonna do that Kia sound or whatever, that hop sound.
Yeah, ha, yeah.
Ready?
Okay.
And go. 1, 2, hop. 1, 2, hop. 1.
No, wrong one.
That one. 1, 2,
Ha.
hop. Good. 1, 2, hop. Good. 6 more. 1, 2, hop. 5 more. 1, 2, hop. 4 more. 1, 2, hop. 3 more. Hop, 2, hop. Again. Hop, 2, hop. 1 more. Hop, 2, hop. 1 more bonus. 1, 2, 2. Yeah, you picked up your speed.
Yeah.
So the reason why I like martial arts, and I was horrible at it. Horrible. Like when I developed P90X.
Learning from the best, you guys. Learning from the
I mean,
best.
you got to start from somewhere. And I thought, hey, we've got to have this in here
Yeah.
because of the hand-eye coordination and athletic skill-based essence of it. All right. You're actually learning how, like when I first learned a jab, cross, hook, uppercut, took me forever. What is that? 1, 2, 3. And then getting all this to move with me, you know, because people get all stagnant in their hips and their feet, right? As a dancer, you know, I mean, it's all connected. You know what I mean? So that was great. Now, the next move is an ab move again.
Okay.
What would you say would be an interesting, different
Well,
ab
I
move?
did the bicycles.
Yep.
What about these ones?
Gorgeous. Yeah, I love that. And 3, and 4, and 5. Those are excellent. And 6, 20 or 30. And 7.
20.
And 8. Very good. And 9. I did force a second round on you. And 10, 18. You have good body awareness. 19 and 20. Like you move with ease, which is very helpful.
Good.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
I know you've been sporadic with the exercise because of scheduling and life and
Right.
COVID and all those different things. But I'm telling you, it just makes for a more joy, happiness, and laughter.
Yeah.
Because you're kind of a joy, happiness, and laughter kind of gal.
It's kind of my brand.
Kind of is. Kind of actually definitely is. I'm going to add a little plyo.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to do, there's so much to pick from. Let me think here now for you. Here's kind of a cool one, all right? If this is a kind of a snowboarder movement, all right? So you're down here like this. We're
Okay.
gonna do 10 low, 10 high,
Okay.
all right? And then when you're on the road, like, you know, you have to kind of be creative, and or not at all. As long as you're going through this basic sequence and you do your sun salutations and warm up, and then a little cool down in Shavasana, kumbaya, my lord. You know what I mean? Then you'll be feeling great.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the move here, down here like this. So your hand, see how low I am?
Yeah.
All right, and then I'm gonna swing here.
Okay.
And then here.
Back and
I'm
forth.
super low. And then after those 10, you go up and do it. And then go up and do it, right?
Okay.
But you're trying to avoid the bend over, right? You're just trying to, the lower you go, I mean, if your hips are below your knees on your squats, your tush is gonna look bad.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So it's here.
Yep. And then you're basically, it's a quarter turn. Yeah. And so put your fingertips right on the ground
Oh, touch
in
the
front
ground.
of your toe, just so one side. So you're like, yeah, I'll show you one more time. I'll show you one more time.
Okay.
Left foot, left hand.
Left foot, left hand.
Left foot, left hand. Right foot, right hand.
Okay.
Boom. All right, you're just down. You're in a box. Don't hit my hand. 2, 3, 4. Look forward a little bit. 5, 6. See your opponent. 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let me see the tall ones. Let me see the tall ones right away.
So it's all the way down.
And then go up. 1. Try to hit your head in that tent. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. 6. Those are excellent. 7, 8, 9, 10.
Woo!
You are done.
Ooh, I feel the burn.
Right?
That's great.
So you got your static movements, right? You've got your core movements. Like we started out with a simple goblet squat.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you can do that one, or you can do step back lunges, right? You can do plyometric lunges,
Yeah.
right? You can do single leg squats where 90% of your weight's here, and you're doing these. You do 10 on that side, then you switch your weight, and you do 10 on that side. There's so many ways to play. On your push-ups, this hand, the elbow's here. This hand, the fingers are here.
Huh.
Right, so now I'm working,
Whoa.
right? You do 5 of those.
Okay.
You switch, you do 5 of those. Or you get your feet wide. You do a push-up, sidearm balance. Working on the balance in the core, get the hip up.
Yeah.
Same thing on the other side. Running in place for the cardio, jumping jacks for the cardio. I have my own jumping jack called T-jacks. Jack Elaine got a jack, I need a jack.
Like this.
But you go thumbs up because life is,
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. All right, so there's all kinds of running in place, marching in place, right?
Uh-huh.
Whatever kind of a cardio thing you want to do. So be
I
creative
like
with
to
the
do like these ones.
Love that one. Love that one. Or this one, you could do this one without that little kind of dance move right here.
Oh,
Boom,
yeah.
boom. There. Nice.
Yeah, that's good.
Here's a great static leg movement, right? So I'm here working on balance, right? So you're here and you bring that knee up and you're here. Try some of those. Yes. And you do X amount on one side, X amount on the other side.
Wait.
Yeah. So see, a lot of people don't figure that out right away. You see how it's your left knee and your
Yeah.
right hand? A lot of people will do this. They'll go,
Yeah.
am I doing it right? No. It's like walking like this. Am I walking right?
Yeah.
How am I doing? Right. So, but then you got all that kind of naturally in there, which is great. And then again, 3 rounds, 4 or 5, like, you know what? I'm going to do 6 rounds today. Screw it. I got time. I feel good. I want to burn some of that tequila in those
Yes.
tortillas.
Yes, that queso.
Yeah, exactly right.
Dip a chip in a queso.
Mm-hmm. A little guac in there,
Yeah.
homemade.
Yeah,
My
good
wife.
fats, good fats.
Good fats. Nothing. Thank you.
Good fat on a chip,
I
wash
love-
it down with tequila.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. How was that?
Oh, I love it. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to work out.
Yeah, good. And then when you're in town, you and your hubby, well, come
Thank
and
you.
play with us anytime.
Thank you so much.
There you go.
This has been great. Thank you.
You are amazing. Thank
Appreciate
you. I'm
you.
glad you were able to be here and to join us with the birds and the chainsaws and all of this. Really good.
Thank you.
That.
Woo! Look at us. Oh, hold on. Do it again.
Finger thumb.
1.
You got a finger.
I'll work on it for next
Yeah,
time.
next time. Hey, everybody, Anjelah, let's hear it for everybody here. Big round of applause. Thank you for doing that today.
You know, I'm glad that you've really enjoyed this interview. I can tell because you're watching it, because I can see you. Anyway, since you're here, I know you're really gonna fall madly in love with this next one. I mean, I'm talking about knowledge consumed by you. All you gotta do is go right over there